Hi everybody, it's Gemma, welcome back to Pampered Wolf and welcome to the first instalment in a series that I haven't quite pinned a name on yet, but it's going to be pretty much autumn winter stuff. I mean, it needs some tweaking. I really just need to put a little bit more work into the name. But anyway, within this series, we're going to be talking about everything autumn and winter. If you are in the US, that's fall and winter for you. So we're going to be doing makeup looks for autumn and winter. We're going to be looking at skincare for autumn and winter. We're going to be looking at my personal skincare routine for autumn and winter, and also my mum's skincare routine for autumn and winter as well as the best foundations to wear when it starts to get a bit colder, you're wanting to wear a woolly hat, a big thick scarf, and you don't want all of your makeup products to transfer onto those items. So within this series, we're going to be doing all of those. If you like the sound of it, please do give this video a big thumbs up so I know I'm going in the right direction. We're going to get on with this video, which is going to be an affordable drugstore autumnal look. So let's get on with it. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I am a qualified esthetician and lover of anything beauty, skincare and makeup. I upload videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 PM London time, and I'm also on Instagram. If you fancy going over and checking me out over there, it's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. If you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button, the like button, and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. So let's go straight into foundation. This is one of the foundations that you wanted me to try. This is the Revolution Conceal and Glow. Now this only comes in 20 shades because this is quite a sheer to light coverage foundation. I've gone for the shade F4. Usually I would go for shades for light skin tones, and they don't do a light skin tone with a neutral undertone in this collection. So I've had to go for a pinky undertone, which is, you know, a little bit disappointing, but we'll see how it goes. Let's have a look what this looks like. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 pumps on and hope that we don't use it all. It's, you know, it's quite a stiff consistency. It doesn't really run down the back of my hand, so we'll see how it applies. I'm going to use my Brush Junkie foundation buffing brush as usual, and we'll see. This is very pink. We will make it work. So I am glad that I went for a light skin tone, because as you can see, this is very pale. Had I gone for the fair one, I think we'd have been in trouble. Let's just see if we can blend this in and make it a little bit more acceptable. I think it is deepening up a little bit as it dries down, so that's actually not too bad. I actually quite like that. Let's do the other side. I'm just going to carry on with the brush application because I might go over it with a blending sponge afterwards, but I'm getting no brush strokes in this whatsoever. It's applying really beautifully. This is actually really nice. I was expecting it to be dewy to the point of looking sweaty on my skin because, you know, this does say it's going to glow. And it's a lovely radiance on my skin. It definitely looks slightly dewy, but it's definitely not a wet look. It's really nice, and it's drying down as well. I mean, this side does have a slight tacky feeling, but I've got a feeling that once it dries down properly, that tacky feeling will fade. So you can definitely tell that this foundation has deepened as it's dried down. 100%. This is now much more suitable for anybody with a light skin tone, and I thought it was much too fair for anybody with a fair skin tone when I first applied it. I was a little bit frightened, but yeah, definitely now it's dried down a little bit. It's much more suitable for a light skin tone. Yes, it's slightly too pinky in undertone for me. My neck is much more on the yellowy side, but we can make it work. We can definitely make it work. I didn't want to choose the warm undertoned foundation because warm undertones on me tend to make me look very orange throughout the day, as you've probably noticed in previous reviews that I've done when I've selected more of an olive or a warm undertoned product. Let's move on to concealer. The concealer that I've chosen to use today is another new one. This is the L'Oreal True Match Eye Cream in a concealer, and this has 0.5% pure hyaluronic acid in here. I have tried this out on several occasions over the last couple of weeks, and I've just not fitted it into a video. It's a really beautiful concealer if you're wanting light to medium coverage. I wear this a lot if I'm wearing no makeup whatsoever during the day and I just want to make myself look a little bit more awake, because it can be 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I've been awake for hours, but I still look tired unless I've got a tiny little bit of concealer under my eyes. It just spruces everything up. So this has a little brush on the end, very much like the Touche Eclat from YSL. The one bugbear that I have with this is it takes forever to get the product out of the tube, even when it's not brand new. So even when there's product right at the end, I mean, I may have got a dud, I don't know. I should have bought 2. And it's a lovely product, so I wish I had brought 2. But when you're swizzling it up, when you finally get product out, you would assume the day after you only need to do a few clicks and it comes out again. Not so. So you can hear the amount of clicks that I've just had to do, and the product has just started to come out of the brush, and that will be the same again tomorrow. Lots and lots of clicks before the product actually comes out. I've gone for the shade Peach, and the reason I went for the shade Peach is because I thought that, especially on those days where I'm wearing no makeup whatsoever, this would be a fantastic colour corrector at the same time as a concealer. So I went for the peachy toned one, and I'm just going to pat that in place using my finger, because it is very much like an eye cream consistency, a loose eye cream consistency. You can see already that that has really worked on my under eyes as a colour corrector. And you can build this up slightly. I wouldn't say that you can build this up massively, but you can definitely build and do a second layer. This feels so super hydrating and beautiful on the skin. It also sinks really well into the skin, so you don't get that creasing throughout the day. Again though, I don't recommend that you build this up and up and up to get the coverage that you require. This is a light coverage, so you're not going to get more than that, and if you do, it will probably crease throughout the day. So let's move on to the eyes. Now I'm going to use the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer for my lids. I've used this in a video previously, and it's an extremely stiff, waxy product, which I wasn't used to at the time. But now I've got used to that, I really like it, and it definitely does the job that's required. So I'm just going to pat some of that on the lid. I'm going to go all the way up to the brow. For eyeshadow today, I've chosen some really beautiful browny bronzy shades. I thought these would look really autumnal on the lids. Just gorgeous. I've never tried out these mini e.l.f. palettes before until I swatched them on my hand when I first went and bought these from Superdrug, and I was just like, wow. These are really good colour payoff and super, super inexpensive. So I'm just going to take a Refa 01 brush and pop into this shade here and really pack that on all the way up to the crease. Really, really gorgeous. I'm going to take it right into the inner corner. Then I'm going to take my Refa 16 brush just with a tiny bit more of that shade and just dust off the excess and really push that into the crease with windscreen wiper motions just to make sure that that's fully blended. That is such a beautiful shade on the lid. Really, really beautiful. So I'm just using my brush to buff that out to make sure there are no harsh lines, but I really love that orangey, coppery, bronzy look so far. Really, really pretty. So I wasn't actually going to deepen up the outer edge, but let's use every single shade in the palette so that you can see what each individual shade looks like. I'm going to dip into this brown shade and just pack that on the outer corner, and hardly any of it, and I'm not going over the crease, just on the outer edge of the movable lid. Okay, so let me swatch these two metallic shades for you, because in the pans they look very, very similar, and in fact they are very different. So let's go into this shade here. Very, very coppery and orangey. And then the final shade, actually more of a bronzy shade. So this is more coppery, this is more bronzy, and as you can see there is quite a significant difference when in the pan they look very, very similar. So I'm going to go for the more coppery shade because I want more of an autumnal warmth to this look. So I'm going to go straight into the second shade along, and I'm going to pop that in the center of the lid. Look how lovely that is. That's just a really beautiful shade. I'm actually then going to go into the bronzier tone and just pop that on the outer section, just to deepen that up a little bit and blend into this matte shade here. By the way, this will look lovely just using the matte shades without either of these metallic shades, and it's so affordable. You could quite easily just buy this palette and not worry about not using the metallic shades. Such good quality and great value for money. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and I'll be right back. So let's just move on to the under eyes again. I'm just going to add a little bit of the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite just underneath the eyes, just where I've got a little bit of discoloration poking through, because I've chosen to use the L'Oreal concealer, which is a beautiful concealer, but as I'm wearing quite a lot of makeup, I feel like I need a little bit more coverage underneath the eye area. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm just going to pat a little bit of that in where I've got the discoloration. And let me just reiterate, it is not because the L'Oreal concealer is rubbish. It's beautiful, it's great, and it serves a purpose for when you're having a very no makeup day. It's just beautiful, it really, really is. But you know, as I'm applying quite a bit of makeup, it's just not working for me today. So once I've done that and I have cleaned up the edge of my eyeshadow, I'm going to go straight into my number 7 Translucent Perfect Light Loose Powder. This is such nice powder and sits beautifully under the under eye. On the under eye. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on the end of my blending sponge and just tap that in. There we go. Absolutely perfect, and that won't move all day now. So I'm going to go back into the e.l.f. palette, and with a pencil brush, just going to take some of that coppery shade, knock off the excess because I don't want any fallout, and go underneath that lash line. Then I'm just going to take some of the deeper shade and just connect the dots right on that outer corner, just to make everything seem a little bit more cohesive. So let's do the brows. I have a brand new product. Don't you all fall off your chairs. No, I am not going to be using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is from XX Revolution and it's their Fine Brow. So I'm going to give this a go. What shade is this in? I do not know. Soft Brown. This is in the shade Soft Brown. So it does come with a spoolie on the end. So I'm just going to brush through the brows and get them sitting where I want them to. And pop the lid back on that, and then I'm going to take the very fine tip, very much like the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I'm just going to outline where I want the brows to begin with, and then I'm going to start filling them in. This is much softer than the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and it seems to be a little bit more pigmented because it's slightly softer. So if you don't want as much of the brown shade, you do need to be very, very light-handed. Let's just go back through it with the spoolie just to soften everything off. I like that. Let's go in with a bit of brow gel and setter. This is again from XX Revolution, and this is in the shade Clear. I'm just going to go through those and hope that they stick them in place. It's a very, very loose consistency product, so it's not doing much at the moment, but let's give it a little bit of time and see how it dries down. We'll try again once it dries down. I'm going to go ahead and do the other brow and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just finished off the other brow and I go in with a little bit more of the brow gel. When I first applied this, this started to smudge the product underneath, so not a great start. I like the product underneath, I like the brow pencil, but I'm not sure I'm liking the combination together because this now looks a little bit too smudgy and I'm not sure I like that. Okay, let's move on to mascara and finish off the eye look. The mascara that I'm using today is the On The Rise mascara from NYX. This isn't a new mascara, I've used it time and time again on my channel, but I didn't pick up a mascara the other day, so I'm going to use this one instead. And I really, really like it. Okay, I forgot I got these next items to try out, so we'll try them out now. I've got a couple of pots from Wet n Wild. These look really, really sparkly and really, really beautiful. I think I'm going to go for the really, really sparkly goldy shade. It's more of a champagne shade, and I'm just going to take my fingertip. Let's just try these out. So I've got a little bit on the end of my finger and I'm just going to pat that on the centre of the lid. That's really lovely. Now these are slightly temperamental. Because they come in a gel format, they can be slightly patchy, you don't get even coverage of glitter, especially if you swipe. Let me just show you the swatch that I've just done on the back of my hand. So you can see there's a lot in some areas and very little in others. And also because of this gel format, if you've already got a colour on the lid like I have and you're just wanting to add a little bit of sparkle, the gel in this formula can lift the shade that you've already applied to your lid. So you have to be very quick with this, just a little bit, and then leave it alone. Otherwise, the amount of moisture in the product will start to lift not only the glitter, but also the product that you've already laid down underneath. Let's bronze this look up a little bit because I feel like that might take the edge off the pink undertone of this foundation, which, by the way, I am still absolutely loving. It looks really lovely on my skin. I'm just really disappointed they don't have my undertone within, you know, their range. Let's bronze this up a little bit. The bronzer I'm using is the bronzer that is my favourite. This is the Maybelline City Bronzer and it's in the shade 200, which is medium cool. This is the best bronzer for me. It's absolutely fantastic for fair skin tones. You can build this up if you have more of a medium skin tone. And it's also not orangey because it's a cool undertone product. It's just the right amount of bronze, but no warmth. And I love that. Then we're going to move on to blush, which is my favourite affordable blush. This is by MILANI and it's their Baked Powder Blush in the shade Luminoso, which is just a gorgeous autumnal shade, really peachy and glowy and just beautiful. Just look at that. Ha ha! Just stunning. Really, really beautiful. So let's finish off this look with a beautiful autumnal lip colour. This is again by e.l.f. and this is their Satin Finish lip product in a clear tube, so you can definitely see the shade that you're getting, which I think is really clever from e.l.f. considering that you can't do swatches or you can't try out products within the chemist or drugstore at this moment in time. You can clearly see what you're getting, so really love that they've actually thought this through. This is in the shade Nectar and it's just, oh, gorgeous. How lovely is that? All I need now is a thick woolly scarf, a nice woolly hat and a big chunky coat. Oh, really, really gorgeous. I love this. It's all affordable. Some of them are first impressions and some of them aren't, and I think I like everything apart from this combo from XX Revolution. I really do like the pencil on its own though. I think it's a great pencil. It's just the combination of these two. This gel makes this bleed and disappear from where you've already put it, so it defeats the object for me. I would use this on its own and I would use this on its own, but definitely not together. I like all of the other products. I'll be right back. So that's the finished look for this video. Do let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. I am loving it. I just think it's so simple, so affordable, and just really, really lovely. I will put a pinned comment at the top of the comment section and let you know how the foundation and all the other products that I've tried out today have worn on my skin. I really wish this came in my undertone because I feel like that's the only thing I'm actually missing today. It doesn't look too bad, but you can definitely tell this is too pink for me. So I know I've gone on about this all the time throughout this video, but it's such a shame because this looks really, really lovely on my skin. On another note, I am thinking about putting lots of dark pieces back into my hair. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.